So at some point while filming this video, I ended up with like a black streak of eyeliner or eyeshadow. I don't know what the heck it was on my face there. So you'll see that during the video. Don't let it distract you, okay? Let's just go on with the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're here for the March Fragrance Awards. This is a series of videos where I share with you the fragrances that I wore over the past month and my impressions of them through some faux award categories. The entire series of these videos is linked down in the description box if you feel like binging on all of the other months. For the past probably, gosh, I've been doing this for a long time. Let's just jump right in. The first category is the best fragrance for the season. March in Central Virginia can be very moody. You can get winter storms or you can have spring. The trees are blooming outside and we have flowers that have sprung, and we'll probably still get another snowstorm before, spring is into real full gear. So I picked a fragrance that can work both in cold weather and in warmer weather, and it's Trussardi's. This is a long name, so hang with me here. It's La Vie de Milano line. And the fragrance is called Passegiatta in Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II. Very long name. And I understand from some viewers that this is a street of famous stores in Italy, like a walkway or an area rather that has a lot of shops and stores and all of that. So I picked this fragrance because it's both like a winter gourmand and a little bit floral. And it's not a heavy, overwhelming, super syrupy, thick gourmand. This is more of a light, airy, very pleasant. I think this is a soft fragrance. Some other folks that have tried this feel like it is a stronger fragrance. Some of the notes that stand out for me are hazelnut, a little touch of coffee. So it definitely has a strong nutty accord, little touches of coffee. There's some coconut in the fragrance and tuberose. I find it to be a little bit milky of a fragrance at the same time that it has the nutty accord and it has a few spices in it. Very pleasant. And if you think about the concept of a street of stores and all of that, this might remind you of some of the smells that are wafting out of both, let's say, perfume shops, like hints of that in the air, as well as some of the delectable smells coming out of bakeries or patisseries. Beautiful, yummy, gourmand smells in the air, but as you're walking along, they're wafting together very lightly. This is a fragrance that's a little bit deceiving in that when you put it on, you think that it has settled down, and it has. It stays very nice. It gives you a nice scent bubble, like right around here. It's not going to project super far, but what's deceiving is that you think this fragrance may have calmed down when it's actually lasting fairly long. I probably get a good workday out of this, like say 6 to 8 hours, and I still smell it very lightly on the skin. So this was a good one to transition from the colder winter weather into the spring. The next category is the best everyday fragrance, and I actually took a decant of this on a work trip with me. I was going to be in a conference room, shoulder to shoulder with lots and lots of colleagues, some of whom are very sensitive to fragrance. So I still wanted to smell good, but didn't want to offend people and be rude. And this is Bare from Victoria's Secret. I really enjoy, look at the bottle. I mean, it's not the most spectacular bottle, but there's something about the proportions of this, the shape of the roundness with the gold detail and the gold and black top that I really enjoy. I find this very pleasing and it's fun to hold. The notes listed on the Victoria's Secret website for this are sandalwood, iris, and mandarin orange. You do get a bright, uplifting, almost effervescent, just happy cherry smell with a little bit of woodiness from the sandalwood, a little bit of creaminess also. And oh my God, I enjoy this so much. It is such a clean, fresh smell. If I didn't know any better, I would think that this also had just a touch of vanilla. Maybe it's the creaminess from the sandalwood that I'm picking up, but it's cold and clean, but also warm and enveloping at the same time. And I got compliments on this at the conference as folks hugged me. They told me that I smelled really nice and wanted to know what I was wearing. It's a beautiful everyday fragrance, not offensive. People will smell you, but you're not obnoxious. It's an easy, pleasant smell. In the category of special occasion, there were several this month that I think would be fantastic for evening affairs, galas, those kinds of things. But I'm going to go with a recent beauty added to my collection, Xerjoff's Picovaya Dama. This is a fairly expensive fragrance and it's incredibly aldehydic, meaning it has like overtly in your face, clean vibes to it. So from that angle, I would say this is very much not a safe blind buy. And I do have a category, not a safe blind buy, that's coming up. But I picked this for a special occasion because it reminds me a lot of, if you think about white linen, the original formula that I experienced back in the 80s that I thought was just so gloriously elegant, clean, fresh, and light, yet substantial and meaty. This reminds me a lot of that mixed with perhaps Chanel number 5, the cleanness of Chanel number 5. This fragrance has very many notes in it, but what stands out to me are the aldehydes, some beautiful citrus aspects to this that are really supporting actors. They are not front and center, like you're not going to smell orange and lemon and all of that stuff. But the citrus adds this vibrant element to the fragrance that I think keeps it a little bit on the lighter side. I would also say there's strong iris and musky tones to this as well. And it's a strong fragrance. You spray it on and you will project far and it will last a very, very long time. Long lasting, strong fragrance. Not for the faint of heart and not for folks that typically tend to think that smells like this are too mature. So if you tend to think that about fragrances a lot, you're not going to enjoy this. However, if you are a lover of classic fragrances with vintage touches, really a beautiful class of like the best smelling soap you can imagine. Really a neat fragrance and a powerhouse. So in the category of the sexiest fragrance, when you think about the range of fragrances that you wear in a month, maybe it's surprising that I'm choosing this, but I'm going with Pure Excess from Paco Rabanne. Some people hate the snake on the bottle. It's cute, it's gaudy, but it's also cute. But the fragrance, some people feel like they get a strong popcorn note out of this. And I know that Fragrantica lists it as the top note in the structure. I don't really get a lot of popcorn, maybe some touches of that. More than anything, I get sort of a deeply creamy, sweet floral fragrance, heavy on the vanilla, heavy on a combination of a subtle fruit that combines with florals to give like a super highly feminine feeling to this. Cozy, alluring. I do think it's sexy. Hubby loves this on me. He chases me around when I wear this one. It's sort of a surefire bet for like a Netflix and chill or date night. Has some presence, has some oomph. I really enjoy this fragrance. I'll also say that this is a fairly long-lasting fragrance and it's designer. This is a sexy one, y'all. Then in the category of biggest surprise, and I've shared this with you in recent videos, so I won't go on and on, 100 Silent Ways from Nichane, one that I sampled a while back and thought it was nice, but said, this doesn't last. Like, what's the big deal about 100 Silent Ways? Why is everyone going on and on and on about it? And then I saw it on sale, got curious again, picked it up, and I'm so glad I did. It's a lovely vanillic floral or floral vanilla fragrance, depending on the weather and how it plays on your skin. And I find it to be just the right amount of both mature and youthful at the same time. This is one that I could see going well across all of the decades that a woman has in her life. This would be a lovely, beautiful, bright, but sweet floral fragrance that is mass appealing and lots of folks would enjoy. Another one that I have worn on a work day, like in, conference room setting with folks and gotten compliments on, and it lasts a long time. So even though I sampled it and thought it didn't last, I think I just went nose blind to it. It really is one that takes you through an entire day and then some. And you can still smell it on your clothing, days and days later. So this is a big winner and a surprise. So then in the category of best bottle, I have an honorable mention. This is Bon Bon Couture, which is a flanker to the original Viktor and Rolfe Bon Bon. And it has a white tobacco note, which distinguishes it from the sweet sort of caramelly scent that is the original. But I really, really want to give a shout out to Cartier La Panthere. So what I love most about this bottle, you really got to appreciate that inside of the casing, you have your glass outer edge, but in the inside is the face of a panther. There are the eyes and the nose and the mouth. I find that to be so unique, especially when you can get sort of just a square bottle. I mean, this is a nice bottle too with a nice cap, but that the brand went through the extra trouble to create an inner casing that has the face of the panther, I think makes this so unique. And speaking of vintagey fragrances, here you go. This is sort of a classic vintage Chypre kind of scent that is strong on the oak moss. but it's like oak moss done right. Oak moss can be really overwhelming, too earthy, too dirty smelling to people, too sharp to some. Here it is beautiful and blended in a lovely way with just the right amount of deep fruitiness and some florals and another sexy fragrance. One that I would say is a little bit on the mature side. So again, caution to those of you that like more youthful smelling fragrances. But this is one that again attracted my husband. I get dressed after him. He's downstairs working, and by the time I come down the stairs and I come around the corner, I have this sort of sillage that sort of floats over into his office as I take a right turn into my office. And so I leave the scent trail. And if he doesn't say anything, I know that he either doesn't like it or there's not a good scent trail. But often, if it's a fragrance that he likes, he'll stop what he's doing and come on over and ask what it is. And he just thought this was super sexy. So this could have been the sexiest one too. But the bottle, and you can't really capture it here on camera, is rather interesting and deserves some credit for what it is. So in the category of worst bottle, but definitely not the worst fragrance, it's Demeter Vanilla Ice Cream. I mentioned this in my Easy Wears ice cream video, like everyday, not ice cream, vanilla, my everyday vanilla video. I really enjoy the whole sort of library of Demeter fragrances. That's what it's called, the fragrance library. These are fairly inexpensive. You can find Demeter fragrances on FragranceNet for in the $20 range, and sometimes a lot lower. Like you can get them from 15, and up, these big bottles. They are cologne sprays, so they're lighter and they are not meant to last all day. And so think about sort of a period of time in the day that you'd like to wear them, like a morning, an afternoon, an evening, but definitely not an all day scent unless you want to reapply. But this smells exactly like vanilla ice cream. Very sort of creamy smell, really delicious, sugary, fun fragrance. But I hate that the bottle betrays the fragrance because the fragrance is so cool. And a lot of the Demeter fragrances are so fun and interesting to try out. And they just sort of have these very utilitarian kinds of bottles. So that's it. I have a lot of really exciting bottles in the month of March that I've worn. And so we're going to pick on this one and say that this is the most boring bottle out of the bunch, but a fantastic fragrance. In the category of favorite blind buy, oh my gosh, almost like everything in the month of March go in this category. And Trussardi had a month. It's Donna Trussardi. This is the Eau de Parfum concentration. I do enjoy the bottle. I think it's a really neat shape for a bottle. I really like that this fragrance is fresh and mature and appropriate for lots of different kinds of occasions. You can wear this almost everywhere. It's not the lightest fragrance, so if you need something that is very inoffensive to others, maybe not that kind of a situation. But what you have here is a lovely citrus, fruity, vanillic fragrance with some woody touches. I find this to be a superbly sophisticated scent at great value. Like this could easily be in my Luxe for Less video that I posted earlier this year. And I need to do a part 2 because I forgot to include this one. This is a very luxe smell, and you can get a full bottle somewhere in the like $45 to $60 range. Fantastic, almost creamy citrus. Not creamy as in like a dense cream, but definitely like a light creaminess. Like think of lotion texture. If fragrance has a texture, this is the texture of lotion, a nice light lotion. You know what I mean? With citrus. There's a beautiful yuzu here, which is a citrus that has a really bright, juicy taste to it. And there are some nice white florals and sandalwood. So, but definitely like a citrus, bright floral fragrance that has some nice roundness. And you know what it's giving me? Now that I'm smelling this a little bit more, I am going to put this in a similar family as Passegiatta from BDK. Hang on. I know there are people out there like, what are you talking about? And Burberry Her EDT, the one with like the minty, bluish, greenish top on it, in the sense that they have that same bright, juicy fruitiness happening. So yes, in that sense, that sort of accord is the same across the three for me. In the category of not a safe blind buy, although one that I really enjoy, from a line that I understand is discontinued. Why? Why must all the beauties get discontinued? Lavandes Trianon from the Maison Lancôme line. So yes, it's under Lancôme, but it was their sort of private line to make you feel really special when you spend a lot of money on the fragrance. These came on the market, I would say they were in the high 100s, and some even went into the low 200s, maybe up to 250 or so. Like I want to say 180, 175 to 250 US dollars when they were available. You can still find these on discount sites. They'll pop up here and there. I believe I got this one from fragrancebuy.ca. Love that site. But you have to have 5 fragrances to get free shipping, and that kind of irritates me. Another conversation for another day. Beautiful bottle. The reason that this is not a safe blind buy is because it can get a little bit nauseating for some people. There's a strong milky accord in this fragrance, a lactonic feel to it. And it has lavender, which is an aromatic note. And lavender is kind of funny for some people. There are some fragrances where I love lavender, and in other fragrances where I feel like it just doesn't work well for me. It has some powdery aspects to it as well. It feels like a warm, milky drink that you would have if you are not feeling well or if you wanted to feel cozy. Like, think about the texture of milk and tea. I don't drink milk in my tea, but I have had it and I know what that tastes and feels like on the mouth. So that kind of a texture with some fluffiness. It's a very fluffy fragrance and some powderiness, but the combination of the milk and the lavender can get a bit overwhelming for folks at times. I still think it's a really, really neat, unique fragrance. I don't have anything else in my collection that smells like this. Okay, so we're going to go to the overhyped, underhyped, and then we'll go to my lowest fragrances, my middle fragrances, and high fragrances of the month. In the category of overhype, you might be surprised to see what shows up here. And every time I do this, I feel like I should probably change the name of this. So let me know if you have some recommendations. Actually, don't, because I'm going to keep the name the same. But every time I do this, people think that what I share is that I don't like it. And that's not the case at all. I really, really enjoy this fragrance. But I do think it's gotten, like, people get a little crazy about this fragrance. It's Musk Therapy from Initio. I do love the white bottle. I'll be honest with you about the Initio bottles. I like the bottles. I don't understand what's happening with this symbol here. Sidebar. Anyway, this is a really nice, a very, very pleasant citrus and clean musk, like a light, airy, clean musk fragrance. It's not a heavy, overwhelming musk. And I think that's what's appealing about this. And it could be an everyday scent also. I wore this to work as well. So this one did well. It doesn't last super duper long. Like, it's not going to take you through the whole day, but it'll take you through the early afternoon if you spritz it in the morning. And that was fine by me. And I enjoy the opening blast of this the most. The citrus in the opening is super happy, jovial, and uplifting. It's a very like spa-like uplifting kind of an opening. The citrus does calm down a little bit. You still smell it there after the opening and it goes through the day, but it's not that initial like super bright, happy blast that makes you feel awake, alert, and alive. However, this is a fabulous everyday scent. Some people feel like for the price tag, it's just not that special. And from that perspective, as an overhyped fragrance, I totally get it. As I always say, get it on discount. Don't go paying $300 for this, y'all, or whatever the retail price is. I would say, get it for no more than like $150 max. So my own opinion. I mean, that's all subjective, right? But it is really nice. I just don't think it is deserving of being incredibly hyped, like in a top 10 category. Maybe for some people, not for me. But I do enjoy this. In the category of underhyped fragrance, and I've heard this one get a little bit of hate on some other channels, and I just don't quite understand that. It's from Stephanie Letta, who does mostly makeup. Well, she did mostly makeup. She does other things now. She does some lifestyle. She's about to have a baby. She's a YouTuber. And she's one of these makeup YouTubers that has been out here talking about fragrances since before fragrances got sexy. So I give her a lot of credit for that. Anyway, she created her own fragrance called 22 Oris. The brand is called Letta, her last name. I do enjoy the bottle. It's a lot like those Estee Lauder, the special line of Estee Lauder bottles. And this is another one. This reminds me a lot of Bear from Victoria's Secret. I'd put them in the same category. Very fantastic, everyday skin scent sort of fragrance. There's a base of sandalwood that gives this a little bit of substance. Then it has some light white florals, a marshmallow musk, and it has, for me, a very pronounced orris note, which I think gives it a little bit of powderiness and butteriness at the same time. The butteriness is very slight. I would say it's heavier on the powder, and it's not a powdery fragrance. I say it has some powdery aspects. But this is another one that if you just want a light, very pretty, feminine fragrance to carry you through an event, this is another one that's not going to take you through an entire day. I would say you get a good 4 to 6-ish hours, and then you probably need to reapply. but I enjoy this fragrance. I think it has something that's elegant and simple and pretty and sheer. It's a sheer sort of powderiness and woodiness and white floral and all the other things I said. All of that. And I think it's really nice. Great sort of signature everyday fragrance for someone that wants something pretty that is really not going to be overwhelming and that people won't smell unless they're sort of in your scent bubble. So there you go. So let's go next to the lowest 3 of the month. And I need to qualify this one for sure, because none of the 3 that I'm going to talk about are leaving the collection. I probably should call this category this month the side eye low 3, because I enjoy the scents, but they're pretty fleeting. And I've talked about this in other videos. I still enjoy them and I still wear them, but gosh, can they last just a little bit longer or give a little bit more oomph or something? Actually, that's a lie. One of them doesn't last very long. The other 2 last a little bit longer, but I wish they had more volume and base. I was going to say volume and base. So I'm going to start off with one of the fragrances that I bought probably shortly after I started my channel, and it got a lot of hype at that time. It's from Serge Lutens, and it is the Datura Noir. I'm making my way through this one, y'all. So tuberose, a little bit of coconut, and here's something people don't talk about with this fragrance. I also get some green aspects from this. I've not heard anyone else say this, but I do. And the other thing that I get from this, that it's not off-putting for me, but I just want to share some sort of plasticky aspects in here. By and large, it's a tuberose fragrance. So it really, more than anything else, is a light, clean tuberose. There is a little bit of coconut, but not a lot. I was hoping to get more of the coconut from this fragrance. And it has almonds in it. And it's a really clean almond. It's not like almond paste. It's not marzipan. It's not like a gourmand type of almond. It's the nut. Like if you opened a bag of almonds, and it just has a really sort of simple, almost woody flavor to it. Or scent rather, almost a woody scent to it when you open it. So that kind of almond. Nice fragrance. This does last, I would say, 6-ish hours or so and has decent projection. I wish that the tuberose and I wish that the coconut were amped up, but I do enjoy wearing this. As you can see, I spray a lot when I wear this. The second one in this category is one that I hunted down, and I don't regret hunting it down. I had it and then got rid of it and regretted getting rid of it and brought it back into the collection more recently. Estee Lauder Sensuous Nude, sandalwood and coconut and a hint of vanilla in here as well. But more than anything, it's such a pretty fragrance. I really enjoy this. This is another one that has that sort of sheer feeling. Like what the bottle looks like is how this fragrance feels and reads on your skin. I wear this mostly at night to bed, or if, I'm just hanging around the house. It's not a fragrance I would wear if I want to be noticed because it is so subtle and so soft. And I am okay with that. The reason it's in the low category is because, wow, what a gorgeous fragrance this would be if it had volume to it. The volume that we talked about in the other one, right? The base and the volume. We're just going to call it volume. The volume combined. But I do like this a lot. The coconut's not super pronounced. I would say it's a dry coconut, like a husky coconut is what I call it. And a nice, simple, clean, airy sandalwood. So yeah. And so the last one in this category, this is one I really wish had a lot of base. It's pretty and it's kind of an underrated, it's not kind of, it is an underrated gem. I don't hear anyone talking about Daniel Hosier Jozun. So this is a fragrance that has some florals in it, but for me, it comes across a little bit gourmand because of a praline and a vanilla that's in there. And it gives it some sweetness alongside those florals. I find this to be a beautifully delicate, feminine fragrance that every time I put it on, I'm like, this is pleasant and this is pretty and this deserves a little bit more attention. And it also has just the right amount of sweetness where it doesn't get overwhelmingly obnoxiously sweet. It just has just this nice, several hints of sweetness from the praline and the vanilla. And I do enjoy these bottles, nice substantial bottles. So yeah, I wish this had even more base so people could really, really appreciate this and it can get the shine that it deserves. So then let's talk about the middle 3. These are only in the middle because something else had to be at the top. These could easily be top fragrances too. They were really, really good. I will start off with one that you've probably heard of over and over again, but that isn't getting quite the shine that it got maybe like a year or so ago. Mont Blanc Signature. I do enjoy the milky looking bottle. What do you get in here? A citrusy musk. So some people prefer musk therapy over this. I think they're both quite nice. I would actually say I prefer this over musk therapy, to be honest with you. The citrus in here is more pronounced and the musk is a little bit weightier. It's a thicker musk. It's not a cloyingly heavy, like dense musk, but it has, like, if you think about clouds and the density that clouds have, musk therapy is like the wispiest clouds in the sky. These are a little bit more chunky clouds that are in the blue skies, but they're chunky. They're big, chunky clouds. And then you think about your other musks that are like the rain clouds that are ready to drop because they're so dense. This is sort of in the middle. And some people think this smells too much like lemon cleaner, like Pledge. I don't get that. I get a really beautiful, light clementine type orange and combined with lemon. I don't know if there's lemon in here or not, but sort of a combination of those two citruses. Really pleasant fragrance. Maybe not the longest lasting, but I definitely get a good, I don't know, 6-ish to 8-ish hours out of this before it starts to sort of fade down. So then I'll go next to one from Nobile 1942, Il Giardino delle Delizie. How did I do with the pronunciation there? It is a beautiful white floral with some gorgeous light suede touches. I have this sitting among my leathers. I wonder if I should move it over to my florals because the florals in here are very pronounced. I get some nice white florals. There's a nice osmanthus note here that gives it some sweetness and it has some woody touches. And I just think this is really pleasant. It's liked here in this house and it's fairly long lasting. You'll smell this on you through most of the day. I find this to be a feminine, floral, suede fragrance. Really enjoy this. And my last fragrance in this category is one that I gave another chance to. I bought it and gave it to my husband because I thought that it smelled a little bit masculine. And I will say it still smells masculine to me, but I enjoyed it on the second wear. So thank you to those of you in the video where I talked about this. I think I had it in a blind buy video and a number of you said, hey, try it again. Here's what I get out of it. So I appreciate those kinds of comments from all of you. We learn from each other. I'm not a fragrance expert. I just happen to have a channel where I'm sharing with you my thoughts, but you also share your thoughts with me in the comments. And that's incredibly valuable for me and for other people reading the comments. Okay, Amethyst Haze from Carolina Herrera. So this, people described it as being coffee break from Maison Margiela, sort of on steroids, like what they wish that fragrance smelled like. I don't really get a lot of similarity with coffee break in this. I will say that this is aromatic. There's obviously a pronounced lavender in here and spicy. It's super spicy and super woody. As I wore this, the time that I wore it, the second time, and I gave it a real chance to sort of mellow out. I did a really good spray, y'all. These are strong fragrances. I got more of the vanilla and the patchouli as it settled down on me, which I appreciated more the second time around. I don't think this is a fragrance that I'll be reaching for often. You know, it's on my husband's shelf still and it will stay there, but I do have a different appreciation for this. So thanks for encouraging me to try it again. All right, we're going into the top 3, except I'm going to cheat and make it a top 4. These videos get harder and harder, the low category and the middle category, as I go along, because I'm curating my collection more and more. And I really love a lot of stuff in the collection, y'all. So I'm going to go first to another Carolina Herrera that's in my top 10 for life, that's in my masterpiece video. And I would encourage you all to check those out for a fuller description. Saffron Lazuli. This thing has my heart. And husband loves this on me. He thinks this smells just so, it's like, you smell very, very wealthy. You know, we joke around about what the heck does that mean? How do wealthy people smell? It's the stupidest thing that we say that, but we say it anyway. It is a very luxurious smell, an opulent smell, beautiful leather with some, I call it juicy fruit and spearmint touches. The leather here is a very light feminine leather. I don't get like a heavy rugged leather here. No, you're not going to get cowboy saddle kind of leather. This is like the most refined, most buttery, smoothest leather. Ooh, I love this fragrance. So top winner. I also love the next fragrance. And I bought this with my own money. I bought all the ones that I'm talking about today with my own money. I did. I love them. Commodity Milk. This is the Expressive. I also have the bold version. I love them both. The bold is a little bit woodier. This one is a little bit fluffier and more marshmallow-like. This is this is so good. The only way I can describe it, and I know it's not a caramel scent, but if you've ever put a caramel in your mouth, the way the texture of the caramel when it melts is what I get from this smell and also from the bold one. But just beautiful, woody, marshmallow, sweet. I don't know, it's just this thick, oh, I know how to describe it. The milk, the creamy milk that you put, is it not evaporated milk? Condensed milk. It's like condensed milk. There, I finally figured it out. It reminds me, so take the caramel thing away. It reminds me of condensed milk. And I love that. So, but this one is a little bit more fluffy than the other one. And then a fragrance that I would kind of put in the same category as Pure Excess from Paco Rabanne in the vibe that it gives. And it's Flowerbomb Nectar. This is such a juicy, feminine, beautiful fragrance. It has what's called a gunmetal note in the opening that I think gives this a unique, almost even slightly metallic. I might be making that up, you all, but this is a very highly feminine, sweet, very mature fragrance, and I love it. I love it. I love putting this on. I think I smell fantastic. It's really, really good and performs super well in high heat. Not heat, in the cold. That's what I meant to say. When you get to the end of a video, it's like your mind is on autopilot and is saying all kinds of things. And then, look, this is sitting on my husband's shelf. I'm considering stealing it back. He only wears it because I like it on him. If you saw the video where we did his top 10 fragrances, this was in there, but only because I think it's super sexy on him. But you know what? It's sexy on me too. Ooh, Naxos from Xerjoff. Why wasn't this in my life sooner? This, oh my God. The beauty that this fragrance is, you definitely get a strong lavender, but I would say it's a clean lavender. So, so pretty. You get a strong, sweet honey. There's tobacco. There's some citruses in here. I think this is one of the most opulent smells in either of our collections. In fact, this could have been the special occasion fragrance. I tell my husband to wear this when he's going on business trips and he wants to seal a really big deal. Like he's meeting a super important client, for a huge, huge contract, and he wants to seal the deal. I'm like, put on the money fragrance. Again, joking around about that money thing, but this is just opulent, decadent in all the aromatic, sweet, beautiful, deep, luxurious, unisex ways. This is really, truly, well, I guess some might think it leans a little bit masculine. Maybe at times I do too, but I don't care. Yeah, this is one that I maybe lose my mind over. So I am overhyping this fragrance. You can accuse me and say, Veronica overhyped Naxos. Yes, I'm overhyping this. Y'all, that's the March Fragrance Award. Would love to hear your thoughts about any of these fragrances in the comments. And if you don't mind, what was your favorite fragrance in the month of March? Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.